It's Wednesday. I was very tired from lack of sleep during the week and I didn't want to do my workout, but I wanted to see how fast I could run a mile. 6:54, and I could definitely be faster. I think could be closer to 6:30 if I was really ready to go. And I had a wide open track.
So I'm about to go pet sit this weekend, and I finally got Forza Horizon 6, my gaming laptop. I had to reset the password and stuff, but I'm preparing it so now I can just play Forza Horizon 6 all weekend. A little bit of a break for myself and just try to have the most relaxed weekend, I think, because, programming is pretty tiring during the week. So yeah, that's the plan. What the? Bruh.
I did a run earlier without my headphones, 5 miles. So I actually used to run without headphones back when I first kind of started getting into running after playing Ultimate Frisbee, because I was really focusing on being in the moment during the run. And I've noticed lately I've been kind of getting sick of the music I've been listening to. So I was like, let me try resetting myself mentally and go on a run without music, and I can also focus on my breathing a lot more. I actually think it helped. Now I'm eating chicken tenders.
I'm finishing the longest run I've done, 7 miles. I'm a quarter mile away there. I just got the biggest jump scare. Ooh, hello. My adrenaline is going through the roof. Oh my God.
Big old beautiful blue jay. God damn, my zoom sucks. Big old beautiful black dog. Say what's up. Oh, okay. Okay. Get into it. Okay. Okay.
Actually, one of the higher mileage weeks that I've had. So I ran 23.74 miles that week, which is actually quite a bit. I'm kind of shooting for that 20 mile a week. That's what I've been trying to hit when I run every day consistently. So that's good to know. At the end of this week, it was pretty fun because I was pet sitting, and while pet sitting, I basically spent the whole weekend watching World Cup games because the World Cup just started, and then I've been playing Forza a bunch, so it was a pretty fun end to that week. But the dogs I was pet sitting for are a little crazy. Week 9, that was the start to month 3. Month 3.
A really exhausting day at work means for a very exhausting workout. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, so I was finishing pet sitting, and I was literally felt like I could close my eyes and just fall asleep before I went on the run. But I can't give up. I finally found a running hat for $10.
At the end of the week, we went to Rio Vista in San Marcos, which is a really nice spot on the river to swim, and they have falls there. And then I ended up being in San Marcos the next day on Saturday at the end of the week, and I just went swimming again. San Marcos is really such an amazing place to be. I think the river down there is it's beautiful. Any opportunity I have to swim in that river, because it's just amazing.
Awesome, thank you. I always get a car wash every time I come to San Marcos because it's the most reliable one. And I got kolaches from the Shipleys, but they don't know how to bake. All their kolaches come out tiny. Where's all the bread? It's still good, but
Finished off week 10, halfway through month 3. I'm going to talk about work again because we did some really cool stuff at work. It actually affected my running the rest of the week. So on Wednesday, we went caving in Whirlpool Cave. It's not open to the public. You can only go through with groups or educational groups. And so I was able to go with my work. We took our students, and it was very fun. I've never actually been caving like that before. I've just gone on walking tours in caves. That caving experience was pretty legit. Had had to wear like knee pads, elbow pads, and long pants. You had to crawl a bunch, and I'm 6'4", so crawling around all the time, like it just hurt even more. And I felt like my legs were like hurting after, not like sore, but like my legs, my knees like were hurting after. And I noticed that when I went on my runs later that week. Like on Wednesday, I had to do a run that night after caving, and I did not feel good. Yeah, even like on Friday, I remember feeling it. Saturday too. It was just like, I just felt like zapped of energy. Even more so because on Friday, we went to Pedernales Falls State Park, and there was a lot of like elevation change that we did, and I did a bunch of stuff barefoot, and I like formed some calluses on my feet. I don't know what I was doing. Like, that was such an active week. And when I look back on weeks like that where I'm doing so many active things, like it truly does feel good. I don't know if I could live a lifestyle where I'm not doing things like that.
I can't believe what I'm watching right now. I'm trying to edit month 2, and this is actually insane. Oh my gosh.
Really like a great week. Lots of fun things at work. Running routine felt all right. Yeah, I hope to have more weeks like that for the rest of the summer. Week 12, the 4th and final week of month 3. We are in it. So not a lot of running in week 12. And week 12 is when I went on my family vacation, and we took a road trip through North Texas to South Colorado down to New Mexico. And this was a 7-day trip. We left on Sunday, July 5th, right after July 4th, and we came back on Saturday. So yeah, it was 6 days.
It doesn't feel sketchy until here.
So we went to Palo Duro Canyon State Park. I had gone previously the year before with work on our spring break trip, but oh my gosh, like when I tell you the canyons are just like incredible, they are just beautiful. Because we went there, I ended up like looking for a lot of birds, because I've kind of like been into birds lately, like bird watching. So the whole trip I was kind of like looking for birds. Saw some really cool ones. Western kingbirds, saw common raven, saw bush tits, some lovely names. But yeah, from after Palo Duro, we went into Colorado. First time visiting Colorado. Love the mountains. Mountains are beautiful. Love the climate there, up in the mountains in the higher elevation. It truly feels good. At nighttime, it actually gets cold. We did some pretty fun things in Alamosa. Saw some very cool nature, and we went to Alamosa, played a couple holes of disc golf, which was really funny because I was playing with my brother Aiden, and he's not bad. It's just he's out of practice just like I am, so it was just funny. Like he would hit a tree and we were all laughing, and then like we spent a bunch of time, me and Aiden, trying to get a disc out of the tree, so that was really fun.
Wait, I want to see the... Oh, a distance. That is worth it.
Get him, not... Let me down.
I got you.
Yeah, come on.
And we saw the Rio Grande in Alamosa. The Rio Grande is the western border for Texas, and I've like kind of seen it, you know, down by Big Bend area. So it was cool seeing it in another part of like the country. But yeah, after that, the next day we had an early morning at Great Sand Dunes National Park, which was beautiful. We also went to Zapata Falls right before that, like true mountain waterfall. And it was so refreshing. We went there really early, so it was nice and cool out. I really, really enjoyed that. If you couldn't tell by now, I love the water. Water's my thing, man. Like, yeah, without water, there is no life. And yeah, Great Sand Dunes was great. That was also the day that I was like, I'm gonna film a YouTube short about what I eat in a day. So I had to record every single time I ate something, which ended up being pretty interesting. I realized I ate a lot more every day on this trip than I normally do, because I had access to food. We had just a bag in the van, sitting in the back of the van, and it just had like a bunch of different snacks, which was great. We saved a lot of money. We didn't have to eat out for every single meal. Like we had lunch stuff, but finished that day looking at prairie dogs along the road as we were driving, and we went to Pagosa Springs. And Pagosa Springs, we stayed there for 2 nights. Went fishing. I caught my first rainbow trout on the fly, so it was pretty special. It technically was a stocked rainbow trout. I believe they stock rainbow trout and other game fish in that section of the river for tourism, but hey, I caught it on a fly. It wasn't just a stocked trout like they have in Texas. But yeah, the special thing about this town is they have hot springs, and there's something you have to pay, but there's like some free ones that they divert into like the river, so it's pretty interesting. But yeah, it was pretty relaxing swimming there. And I did go on a run. So I went on a run on Wednesday, and I did a 4-mile run through Pagosa Springs, and the elevation change is no joke. I had to look it up because we were like 7,000, a couple hundred, like 7,000 something feet above sea level, and there is much less oxygen present in the air, which obviously less oxygen is harder to breathe. Less oxygen is getting to your blood, it's getting into your body. So the run was definitely harder. I was getting out of breath, and it was just like a chill like 10-minute mile run. It was fun though. It was a nice run. I'm really
4
glad
miles
I
in
was able to
Pagosa
go on that trip.
Springs.
You know, that was like my biggest goal. I was like, I have to go on a run.
It's harder to breathe.
Yeah, we stayed in cabins on the river. It was beautiful. Got to see lots of birds. We saw some deer. That was a really nice spot. And then after that, we went to Mesa Verde National Park. This was the grand finale of the trip. This is where we were leading up to, and we saw the Pueblo communities that were built in the cliff dwellings from year like 1100 to 1200. So tons of artifacts, tons of preserved spaces that these communities lived in, which was just amazing. The whole time I was thinking about like how they had to be like excellent rock climbers, and like they probably were great at running because they had to run between communities. They had to climb up the cliff faces and like up out of the canyons. It was really cool. Yeah, I stayed at a lodge in the park. Kind of started the drive home after that. We were headed to Albuquerque. We stopped in Aztec, New Mexico, and we saw some more indigenous groups, the communities that they lived in, and the buildings that they left. It was very cool. We went to Albuquerque. So we spent a night in Albuquerque, and in Albuquerque, I got to see some Breaking Bad filming locations. Breaking Bad is one of the few series that I've actually like watched in its entirety, and I've like watched tons of YouTube videos about it. I've also watched Better Call Saul, and I've seen El Camino. We came back from the trip, and we were just exhausted. It was lots of driving. Props to my mom. She drove the entire time. We offered to drive, but she prefers to drive. Stopped and saw Prairie Dog Town in Amarillo on the way home. Just really funny because it's like a zoo, but it's not. Like, it's a zoo in a way that they know you're there and you can throw them food, and like it just felt really weird. They were so cute. I was glad we got to see them up close. Yeah, I did force myself the next morning back from the trip. I am going to go on my long run. I'm gonna suck it up and I'm gonna feel good. Yeah, I was proud of myself for that. And that's the end of month 3. Month 3 was like a blur. It was a blur because I didn't do these weekly recaps when I was supposed to, which is difficult. Summer programming was in full swing, so early mornings, late nights running, just very busy days. But I'm like in it now. I'm starting to think more about like, you know, the end of this journey and how it's going to feel, and I'm really looking forward to staying consistent with my training and seeing it out, like seeing it through to the end. That's month 3. Month 4 is coming up. Month 4, that's going to be another month where I'm going to have to test myself, and I'm going to have to keep pushing and keep grinding. Thank you for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next one.